Moving Forward Entertainment, My Kind Media, presents Black Wolf Speaks. Yeah.
What up, Dago? It's Black Wolf. It's 5-ish a.m.-ish in the morning. I wanted to work on some tracks today, but as you can see, the layer's wrapped up. I don't even have anything on except for the monitor. I mean, the computer itself, but and the monitors, but yeah. But this is what I'm thinking about doing. So today I'm talking about some stuff, all right? You guys well know that I have about 2.5 podcasts. I would say that because there's another one I want to work on with my son that is not, we haven't even really, we filmed a little bit, but nothing serious. But I really want to focus on that eventually. But, I take what I can get right now. Sorry about my hand being there. I know it's unprofessional, but here's the deal. I want to say something to mothers, because a man of my age, I've been around, and I've I've been married 3 times, so I kind of have some experience. But out of all the 3 mothers that I was married to, I pretty much think 2 of them figured it out, but 1 didn't. And we're going to get into that. But mothers to me are very important pieces to young ladies. Fathers are more important. I'm going to tell you why. You don't really believe that. We're going to tell a difference of a woman who had a father growing up versus the woman who didn't. This is thing, I just learned this like in the last 6 months or so, which is weird because I didn't pay attention to all those red flags were right there, and this is the biggest one. You don't blame that person for their mishaps or whatever they did in life, but you really need to understand that 99.5% of the stuff they do and how they react as a person, not a business, not a identity, not social media, not all that fake shit, but the real person, their real heart. You know who you are. We all do. Okay? I could tell you who I am, but you go first. But anyway, and then people have told me, you don't know me, and well, now you know me. Okay, so there's certain questions that you should ask people when you first meet them. At least 5, I think like 5 ones. I'm gonna go over those. And I've talked about some of them before, but it seems like every year another one adds. So it started out 3, now it's 5, maybe 6, 7, maybe 10 one day. I don't know. But and it's men that go after women. So you pretty much, I'm talking to men now. What to ask for if you don't want to waste your time with the wrong person, or if you don't want to go through some traumatistic, not traumatistic, but some of it, but more like toxic, very toxic, to the point where it doesn't make sense. Stuff just doesn't make sense. It's better to ask questions, and then you'll understand who it is you're gonna be with the rest of your life. I wouldn't say they're in any certain order. Hell, I wouldn't even say that they're more important than the other. Okay? The first one is you asked her what her body count is. Now, I know everyone just, body count, oh my God. I had a homeboy of mine who was like, well, what's your body count? You can't answer that. I'm like, she can ask me the same questions I asked her. I'm not asking to ask me the questions. I already know what my body count is. It was my body. But anyway, so, and what that means is how many men has she been sexually involved with? There's a number that I feel is kind of too high, especially if they've been involved with menage a trois, which is weird, but that happens. Or if they've been swingers, or if they, was like the third party in a relationship. If that's not what you're into, because if you're into it, you would have your wife and you'd be talking to her. Most guys aren't into that I know, but who knows? You'll get the answers to your questions. Hopefully, the first question. That should be the first one. And at that time, you should decide if you want to continue it. You could leave then and never go through it. No one has to know anything, even if you did have sex with her one night, because some women are like that. They'll just give it up on the first night. Suck your dick. Fuck you. Fuck you well. Like they want to take you home and they'll do that. For however long that's good, I don't know. Some people say 15 minutes. I don't know. 10 minutes. I don't know. Maybe an hour or so, and you fall asleep, you wake up again, do it again. I don't know. But this is the rest of your life you're talking about. Not just, all right, we're dating, but maybe it is. I don't know. So that's a good one. Second one to me is, and this was very interesting because the reason why this is the second one to me, because I actually just learned it. Like I said 6 months ago. And the reason this is secondary to me, because sometimes I feel it should be the first, but it's not fair to that person if it's the first. It really isn't. So this is kind of sensitive, and a lot of these women aren't really privy to having this in their life, and it's not really their fault. But you're the one choosing, not them. That's how you got to look at it. Okay, so one part is, did they have a father figure of any sort while they were growing up, from the age of an infant until they're adult? Did they have that? And if they did, was that individual, whether he was a biological or step, was he loyal and respectful and honest and true loving to her? Because if he wasn't, that's a problem. And if he wasn't even involved in her life, like if he was, some cases, if he was in the military, was never home, he wasn't around her, he was just a picture. But even worse if he's a molester, and these are things that you need to know. Sometimes, we don't want to tell you these things, but you have to ask yourself, when I hear these things, who am I to judge her? Because you're not, you can't judge her. Okay. But this isn't about judging her. This is about paying attention to you. You're the one that's going to be dedicated to this relationship, right? That's why we're doing this. Unless she's just a fuck. And if she's a fuck, you just fucked her. All right, next fuck. You don't have to be two. You can be one. But if she's something that you really like, or someone you really like, and maybe you just felt it, or you're feeling it, these are questions that need to be laid off the ground. Now, if they tell you a horrible story about their father, or if they, even worse, didn't even have a father present, those are almost the same thing, almost. And that's something that you need to pay attention to. You really do. I never did, and I'm not saying that's why, but I'm starting to now. And the funny thing is, the people that I've been talking to, the beautiful women that I am talking to now, besides them being queens, oh my God, they are, they're together. They have their life. They're you know, I'm not trying to signal out one person per se, because but anyway, so the third one is interesting, because the third one is about another parent. See, we think that a girl's mother is the most important parent in her life. That's not true. They both are. But they both have very important parts that are vital to her survival. Vital. But they're not the same. So they're equal, but they're not the same. The father adds this, the mother adds this, and that child becomes better. If not, and like I said, it doesn't matter if they're successful. I mean, they can be a billionaire. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about the spirit, the soul of this person. You know, what makes them who they really are, not the fake this or the fake that or these or money or any of that. No, I'm talking about their soul. That's what you need to pay attention to. Why is that? Because it's very important. You don't think it is, but it is. So anyway, these are questions you'll get. You need to know what type of relationship she had with her mother from birth till now, if her mother's still alive or if her mother's dead. Positive, negative, the whole nine. Did she support her? Did she love her? Did she molest her? Did she scare her? Did she beat her? Did she lie to her? Did she disrespect her? Did she was she not loyal to her? Could she trust her? No. Those are very important questions. The fourth one is, if this woman has a child or children, it's important to know how many baby daddy are involved in the children's life, because that's a distraction for you. Now, at this point, I guess she passed 1, 2, and 3, or 1 and 2 or 3, yeah. And it was all positive. The mother, the father, you know, body count. But the few body counts there were, maybe it was a baby daddy, you know, or 2 or 3, maybe it was 4. There's 4 different children. A lot of guys don't care about that. You know, that there's 4 different baby daddy and 3 different children or 4 different children, whatever. Some, they don't. But it's not about adopting the kids, because I did that. I married a woman who had 4 kids. It's a true story. We write a book about it. It's good. I'm not going to say her name because it's irrelevant, because she's living her life. She's doing well. I'm not in touch with her, not whatsoever. I barely even watch her on social media. How I know? Because her daughter, we follow each other. Her oldest daughter, her name's irrelevant too. But that was my second family, and I couldn't make it with their mom, but those kids, I really love them like they're my own. So I raised them the way I was raised. It was real. But the baby's daddies weren't involved. Now that was a bad thing and a good thing. If they're involved and they're too much involved, that bothers. And then what I mean is, they're not involved with their child. They're involved with the child's mother, meaning dealing with you and bringing drama to your situation. This is what you want. And then, of course, it could be something different. It could be, you know, the fact that about how the child's raised by them versus you. There could be conflicts. That's something that's very important, because those relationships are important too. The fifth one to me is, I wouldn't say it's irrelevant, but I didn't think it was in my last marriage, but I found out that it really is through my siblings. What type of relationship does this person have with their siblings? How close are they? If they're not close, why? What happened? Did the parent die? Did something change? Were they always disgruntled, but they were raised together? What happened there? Because I'm still in touch with my siblings. Now, one of my younger brothers, because I have a couple. I got 3 younger brothers. But one of my younger brother, my middle younger brother, is very upset with me. He doesn't even talk to me anymore. He's going through his life. His struggle is horrible. And I'm not going to put his business out there, but there's a reason for that. Female wants to know that from me, I'll tell her what the story is. But you want to get answers on that note, because that can tell you something else about her. This is how you get to know this person, if that's what you want to do. You know, I wish I had done that. Is there a 6? We're going to talk about that on my next show. This is a different podcast. And I don't know why I'm doing this, but Black Wolf Speaks, we'll call it that for now, but this is a section of Black Wolf Speaks, which is relationships. And I'm going to make it a whole section, because you can talk about relationships forever, but it's not just about marriage. It's not just about boyfriend and girlfriend. It's about friends. One of my best friends in the world lives on the East Coast. No one really knows who he is. You see him on my don't see him. No, you won't ever see him, because I won't do that to him. But you'll hear him on a podcast, and he'll say things, whatever, which is cool. So we can do that. We'll do that. So Black Wolf Speaks again, and it is another episode of Black Wolf Speaks. But this section is for relationships, and those are 5 of the things you should ask any female. Or it goes for the males. The females can ask the males the same thing. It does not just about man asking women. She can ask about the guy, because there's crazy dudes out there. I'm not gonna just be on the females. Nah, there's crazy dudes out there and these females need to be on top of that. I'm just saying. But you can ask them the same questions. It's universal. Thank you so much for your time. This is Black Wolf. Black Wolf Speaks.